Welcome back to Small Biz Matters, everyone, the program in which you work on your business rather than in it. You're here on Triple H 100.1 FM, and today we have the fourth in a series of programs talking about the bigger picture. What we don't normally do on Small Biz Matters, we like to focus in on specific strategies and achieving specific tasks each week. But I thought it would be a good point after about 12 months of learning all those specific strategies to look at us as a whole as businesses and where we've come in the journey. And who better to bring us through this process but Nikki White, who is, a business owner, a trainer, a mentor, and lots of other things with part of My Wellness Business. So welcome back to the program again, Nikki.
Thank you.
And just tell us a little bit about why it is that you are the expert in this field.
Well, I've been in business for small business for 10 years. So I think that in itself is a major achievement. So many small businesses fail in the first couple of years. So, and I've learned so much through that 10 years. And I just see so many people not really getting it or not implementing or not actually doing all the things that we've been talking about in the last 3 shows that we just said that people don't talk about. And I guess that's one of the reasons that we wanted to do this show, was to really bring out the things that people aren't talking about. And for those of people that have listened to the last few shows, they'll know that I am quite a sharp, straight person who says it how it is. So there's probably people going, oh my goodness.
You can't say that. You can't say that I don't work on my business. I only work in it, and I'm only focused on the client work and the ups and the downs. We have talked about quite a lot, actually. The first program we were talking all about implementation and actually taking that education that you've just forked out good money for and bringing it back home and actually using it in your business.
Yep.
How many times have we just gone, I'm just going to throw money at the wall and hope that it sticks? And then we talked a little bit about time management and how to get everything into succinct time groupings, time slots, making sure that you value your personal time before or after. At some part of that process, it's very important as well. Working on your business rather than in it. How do you make time for it? When is the best time to do admin and back-end work? What does it mean to be working on your business? And then last week we were talking about investing in your time and actually valuing your time and working out when the best time, either in a financial flow through or when is the best time to educate yourself? When is the best time to put your prices up? When should you buy that new piece of capital equipment? So there's quite a few number of things. If you've missed any of the shows, of course, you can get onto the Boyd Office Management Services or the Small Biz Matters blogs and podcasts page and have a look what's available there. So you wanted to mention something about last week as well that we didn't touch on in terms of investment and education to develop new skills. How do you find out the best programs to use for that education investment?
I think that the most important thing when you're looking to upskill in any area, I mean, there are so many people out there, mentors, coaches, offering business skills, or, you want to upskill in your particular area. There's a lot of dodgy people out there. There's a lot of free stuff when they're going to try and sell you into their big program.
Or free ebooks. Oh, if I see another free ebook, I'm going to kill myself. It's just there's so many things to think about. And how can you possibly put it into an ebook?
Yeah.
Is that just someone just regurgitating what their thought process is and just making it into chapters?
Yeah, and the ebooks are really kind of being done to death now as a freebie to get people onto mailing lists. But I'm even talking more about the hypey, and can I say wanky on the radio?
I think you can say wanky. Yes, go ahead and say wanky.
But that real super hyped up, excuse me, sales pitch about
the
all
sales
these programs
guys. Exactly.
and stuff. So, right, so if you're out there listening and you're thinking, you know what, I need to upskill my business, how do I find the right person? You know what, do your research, see how you feel with the person's stuff. If they've got a big, long sales page and it doesn't resonate with you, then don't go to their program. Or, you know what I like to do is actually pick up the phone and speak to the person directly. So when I'm running my mentoring programs, I will actually talk with every participant before and really make sure that we're a right fit, because there is no point then wasting wasting their money working with me if they're not the right fit. And I've even had conversations with people who aren't even at the right stage of business yet to work with me and said, do not waste your money. Go away and spend 12 months working on your business.
Figure out what you want to do.
Figure out what you want to do. This woman hadn't even seen a client yet. And I was like, you need to go away and actually just experience being in your business and then come to me and I will help you get through it. But at the moment, if you haven't even seen a client, everything I teach you is going to be completely over your head and you will be in total overwhelm. So I think if you can pick up the phone and have a conversation with the person running the program.
Because you're going to be spending a couple of hours in the room with this person.
Yeah.
You don't want to be bored to tears or just, having that Rowan Atkinson blah, 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 blah thing happening.
But really do your research. So look at their About Me page on their website. Find out about who they are, what's their experience.
But don't look at their accreditations.
No.
Because those are just frou-frou.
And
they could have paid money
even
for
the testimonials are, testimonials are great, but nobody is ever going to put a bad testimonial up.
True.
So, there's never ever going to be somebody who says, I hated this program.
I'm just going to put that on my marketing side of my website.
Exactly. So, yeah, testimonials are great. But then ask other people around, or maybe even if you can see that there's a testimonial, Google that person and ring them. Did you really enjoy the course? What did you think? Especially if you're going to part with thousands and thousands of dollars. I just see so many people pay out money and lose it. And this actually goes back to the first session about implementation. If you're not going to implement either, don't bother.
I used to work for a business. It was a marketing company, and the managing director came back after having done a 3-day course with this guy and just was raving about it. Thought it was absolutely fantastic. Forked out $55,000 for all of his staff, except the office manager. Of course, we don't get any training, to do this. And every time the 12 people would come back to the office after doing it, they looked drained, they looked tired, they looked bored. They certainly did not look inspired or invigorated. And one day they came back into the office carrying a jar of marbles. And I went, guys, what are you doing? And they went, we have to, and they tried to explain to me what the hell they have to do with these marbles over the next 5 days. And I was just going, wow, $55,000 for something that didn't resonate with your staff.
Yeah.
And that comes down to doing your research. And is this really the sort of thing, instead of the buy-in, I've just been sold into something. Remember, these people are salespeople.
Absolutely.
They're there to get your dollars.
Yeah. And if you're not somebody who buys into that, which I am definitely not.
No, I'm not.
I think people can see from my shows, this interview that, I'm pretty down to earth. So I am not into the hype and I'm not into that. So I'm looking for somebody who says, I'm going to deliver X, Y, Z. And you're really looking for outcomes. Like, what am I going to walk away with?
What skill am I going to get?
Exactly.
I want to know how to use a program. I want to know how to do this. I want to learn more about this product and how it's going to grow my business. And that comes back to what we were saying before about return on investment.
Exactly.
So important. So important. Well, we might just take a quick break now, and then we're going to come into today's show a little bit more about stepping out of your comfort zone and talking about that leading into your goals and values, and again, more talking about things what people don't want to talk about, Nikki.
Yay.
So we'll be back after a short break and we'll launch into our next program. Welcome back to Small Biz Matters, everyone. We're here with our special guest, Nikki White. We're talking all about what we don't want to talk about.
And I think it's really important to point out here that these topics that we're talking about, while some people might be like, oh, that's so in my face, if you can just take away something from these and implement it and make your business successful, that's all we want.
Yeah, we don't want to overwhelm people.
No.
We want them to take, I'd be happy if everybody just went one thing I'm going to do this week, this month, one strategy I'm going to walk away with, or one thought process to make me move forward.
Yep.
I don't want everyone to think like, oh, working on my business, not in it. I'm really bad at that. I can't do admin. I can't do back end, and fearful of it. Just take away one thing.
Yeah.
So today we're talking about stepping out of your comfort zone. Now, I'm going to use a friend as an example, and he's been running his business for 15 years. Never done one teensy weensy bit of marketing in the entire time he's had 15 years.
Right.
So he's your classic word of mouth marketer.
Yep.
Yes, business ticks along Yes, he gets clients because everybody loves working with him. He's very good at what he does, and they refer him on to other people, and he's got colleagues that he works with in the same building that he talks about, but never setting foot in a networking event, never doing any blogs, basically didn't have a website for the first 5 years. When he finally got one, it was out of date very quickly. So for this particular gentleman, stepping out of his comfort zone was any sort of marketing, was networking.
Yes.
He used to tell me that, you know, to go and do some networking would make him feel physically sick.
Yeah.
But I say, but it's not, you're not networking, you're just having a conversation with people. But for some people, that's really hard to get their head around. So can you give me some other examples of where, as a business owner, you might be stepping out of your comfort zone, maybe not in the marketing sphere, but what about other stuff?
Oh, look, anything that makes you feel a little bit uncomfortable. I think let's take it a step back first and talk about why you want to step out of your comfort zone. So I think it's really important that your comfort zone is, you know, obviously where you're comfortable, where you can feel relaxed on a daily basis, where everything that you do is easy, it's not a challenge, it's just ticking along, ticking the boxes. How great's this?
You don't have any of those sinking feelings or anything like that.
But you're not also having any excitement. And I think as a small business owner, that if you're not stepping out of your comfort zone and you're not actually reaching and stretching yourself, you're not growing.
What's the point? Get a job.
Yeah.
Leave the business, go and get a job.
Yes. And I think that's the conversation that people don't have. That, you know, yep, start your business and it's all going to be great. But actually, no, you have to face your fears every single day as a small business owner for you to be successful. You know, the Richard Bransons of the world aren't sitting in their comfort zone. They're, how can I do this better? Or how can I make a difference? Or, you know, who on earth goes from being a record company to buying an airline, you know, under the same brand? You know, so he's stretching himself every time. He's not sitting in his comfort zone going, this is great, I'm really comfortable here.
And that's not necessarily where will I be in 100 years' time. That can be, well, what do I want to do in 6 months? Do you really want to be stagnant? Do you want to be sitting in the same point of your business and not having actually moved at all forward?
Exactly. And then to come back to your original question, well, what could that be? That could be picking up the phone and calling a lead. It could be walking into a networking function. It could be going and speaking at an event.
It could be offering a referral program to your existing clients to help build other people that they know, bringing their business in, maybe.
It could be increasing your prices.
Ooh.
What puts you out of your comfort zone? What makes you feel scared? What makes you go, should I do this? And they're the things in small business that you go, okay, you know what? Yeah, I'm going to give this a go. I'm going to try it. And the reason people don't step out of their comfort zone is fear. Fear of failure, fear of what if it doesn't work.
Fear of the unknown.
Fear of the unknown.
What if it does work and I explode so much that I can't cope with that amount of work coming in, and then I disappoint my existing clients?
Yeah.
Yeah, there is a lot of that there.
You can even if you're running a workshop, you may be really comfortable having 4 people in that workshop. So you've run a workshop, you've got 4 people, but getting out of your comfort zone is doubling it to 8. So, you know, and that's a fear. So how can you embrace these fears and get through that and step out of your comfort zone? And look, there's so many different ways you can do that. You could do it through healings, or you could do it through, you know, mindset stuff. You can just embrace it and push through it.
Just do it.
Yeah, look, you know, and it really depends on where you're at. And what
you could use processes.
Yes.
You could feel for me, stepping out of my comfort zone is thinking about the bigger picture, because I am not a creative thinker. I can't do where will I be in 5 years' time, because I can't even move furniture around a room in my mind.
Right.
So I can't think beyond what is real. And me stepping out of my comfort zone is thinking in the conceptual realm. So I think for me, it becomes a process. I'm comfortable with processes. So take what I'm already comfortable with and use that as a tool to push myself out of the comfort zone.
Yeah.
So for me, the process of, okay, growing my business into a new space, people that I don't know, quite happy to put myself in a room with 100 people that I do know and go blah, 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 blah. But what if I go to a networking meeting in Chatswood, where I don't know anyone and I don't have the comfort of having people that I can rely on that are there, and I can go back to them and go, oh my God, that person, oh my goodness. But use that process. Well, process one was like, okay, find a networking group, then book a ticket. So for me, I use the processes which I am comfortable with to step myself out of my comfort zone.
Yeah.
So think about what you have strengths in.
Absolutely. And then I think another way that you can easily help yourself step out of your comfort zone is having goals. And we talked about having the importance of having goals in session 1.
And you said to start with the more longer term goals and work backwards from there.
Yes.
So a 12-month, for example.
Exactly. But even to have a personal goal. So imagine if your goal is to take the family on a skiing holiday, right? So that you're running your business and your goal is, I want to earn this much income and I want to have this many clients. But what do I want? What do I really want for me? So for me, and this isn't me because I don't like skiing, but let's say it's a Fiji holiday. That's much nicer.
Yes. I like the idea of being on a beach much better than
cocktails,
freezing.
The whole bit.
Got it.
So I want to take my family to Fiji. So I put that goal on my wall of my office, and I have a whiteboard wall. Whiteboard paint, really great. You just paint a whole wall.
Whiteboard paint. I've heard of blackboard paint. Haven't heard of whiteboard paint.
It's the best.
Oh.
So I have my goal at the top of my wall, and then when something is scary, I look at that goal and go, how worth it is it for me to step out of my comfort zone if that's going to get me closer to that goal? And that's the point of having goals. Because you want to, and a goal is not something
you're implementing goals. You're implementing in order to get the end result, which is what you're going to get out of it.
Absolutely. But it allows you to embrace the fear. So if you're fearful, so let's say you had to pick up and make 10 cold calls. Yes. So that,
everybody listening just went, oh, no.
Yes. But imagine if those 10 calls was going to get you closer to going to Fiji. And then you say to yourself, well, how important is it for me to take my family to Fiji? What happens if I turn around and say to my kids, oh, we're not going to Fiji now because I didn't make 10 calls?
That's worse. There's a worse feeling than the initial cold calling idea.
And why is the fear there? Because we're fear of the rejection of those 10 people. But what if those 10 people turned into clients that we got our money and we went to Fiji? So that's the whole thing about having outside your comfort zone, embracing the fear, going with it, and having that goal as your motivation to get there.
And make sure that you've got a visual thing sitting there as to what your goal is.
Exactly.
Have it sitting right in front of you so you can see it.
Exactly. And back in session 1, what we did, and we talked about implementation, we talked about you have to have a goal, so that you have to have something that's moving you forward. Otherwise, what's the point? And you have to have something that's visual. So we talked about not having a 10-page business plan, but having set goals.
Yes.
So write those goals. I don't care how you write them. I don't care if you have, your goals in beautiful flowers, painted on your wall. I don't care. But whatever it is that's visually great for you, that every day you look at it and go, this is why I am working in my business today.
Or if you're an audio learner, you could have sounds of the Fiji beach.
Absolutely.
And then you could be listening. So remember, if we're different types of learners as well, you can have that there. But have something tangible to experience before the experience actually happens. But here's a question for you when it comes to stepping out of your comfort zone. What if you do fail?
Doesn't matter.
How much of a hit is that?
Oh, you know what? If you don't fail, great. But I think you need to look at failure as something that happens all the time. And there are so many quotes on Facebook around, you know what, you fail, you get up again. Like, failure is not the be all and end all. I think, and so many small business owners go, if that didn't work, they fall apart. No, it doesn't matter. If that didn't work, try something else. Small business is all about testing and measuring. So test it. Did it work? If it didn't, why didn't it? Okay, great. Then I know that that's not the way that my clients want to receive information or whatever it is.
Do you think that only happens when you've got a certain level of maturity or experience in the business before you accept that failure is part of the business growth?
I think, and it's why we're talking about it today, it's a mindset shift that a small business owner needs to have. And I think if you go back through all the sessions that we've done, in every session there's been something where I've said, and this is a mindset shift that small business people need to have. And this is definitely one of them. You know what? I am going to fail. There are going to be bits that do not work. I am not going to succeed 100% of the time. And I think there's a quote, and I will try and find it better, but I think it's Edison or somebody like that failed 1,000 times before they invented the light bulb.
Yeah.
And if they gave up, we wouldn't have had electricity. You know, so... And I will find some quotes and we'll put them on the Facebook page when this episode comes out so that people can see them. But it's just absolutely, failure is not the be all and end all. It's just, okay, pick yourself up and learn from that.
It's part of the process.
Yes.
Yeah, and how on earth are we all going to learn if we just keep on getting things right all the time?
Exactly. And look at a baby walking. Imagine if they fell over the first time and went, oh, that's it, I'm never going to walk again. You know, they don't. They get up, they try and they try and they try again. And that's exactly the same in small business.
We need to leave that negativity that's associated with failing behind and just take, well, what did I learn from that process and move forward with it?
Yeah.
We're going to go to a short break and try and absorb everything we just talked about then, because my brain is full of where will we be? And then we'll come back after a few community service announcements and a song, and we're going to talk a little bit more about stepping out of your comfort zone and utilising that to develop your goals and values. You're here on Small Biz Matters on Triple H 100.1 FM. Welcome back to Small Biz Matters. We are talking with Nikki White all about goals and values now. Before the break, we were talking a little bit about stepping outside your comfort zone. What does that mean? How does that make you feel? How can you grow from it when you fail? But now we're going to talk about values. So what is that in a business sense? I think we can all talk about it from a personal sense and what we believe is important to us. But how does that translate to you as a business owner?
Well, if you're a solo entrepreneur, that is you. So your values are your business.
Yeah.
So very much my values are honesty, integrity, authenticity. That is me and that is my business. So when you come to my business, you will exactly see my values because that's my mentoring program basically. But if you are a bigger business with a team, it's actually getting the team together and deciding what values are they. So is it honesty? Is it integrity? Is it, you know, to be the best or the fastest, or, you know, it's a bit of your, it's the old kind of mission statement is what I'm trying to say.
Yes.
The vision and mission statement.
Yeah, now there's a word, you don't use those hear those very often anymore,
and
do
it's
you?
come back into
The
more values.
Yeah.
So what is your values as a solo business person? Because they're the people that you're going to work with.
Yeah, so they're reflective in your clientele.
Yes.
And in your marketing strategy.
Yes.
And in
brand.
the way that you work.
Yes.
And who you are and the way that you present yourself.
Yes, they are you. And they are your team. So if you have a team and you get together, you know, that business can't just be your values. It has to be the team's values.
So you have to be able to absorb in what they're bringing to the table without diverting too much away from what you're...
Well, you would end up having core values of a business based on the team.
Yes.
Because then you would all be bringing in different values and going, well, these are our main attributes. And so important with everything. And I think if you were just starting a business and you're listening to this show and you haven't even started a business yet, really defining what your values are is so important.
How do you do that? Where do you go to research that to begin the process?
Oh, you know what? I just, they're just feeling words for me. So, well, not feeling words. Here's how you can tell if something is against your values. It's the thing that you get really, really cranky about if somebody does it.
Right.
So for me...
Find something that annoys the hell out of you and you're the opposite of that.
Exactly. So if somebody lies, that drives me nuts. Like I can't stand somebody who lies. So then I go, you know what? One of my values is honesty. And the other thing I can't stand is people who are late to meetings. You know, so one of my other values is timeliness and efficiency and, you know, and being all together and professional and all that kind of stuff. That tardy, late, you know, if you're late to a meeting with me, don't even bother showing up because by that stage I'm so angry that we wouldn't even have a proper meeting. So there's no point. So that for me really resonates and really rouses my goat, if you like. So then I go, okay, that's one of my values, the opposite of that. So if you really don't know your values, but really starting to look at yourself. So trying to be in tune with yourself and go, what are the things that I like about my life?
And don't do the thing where you look at your competitors and see what their values are or anything like that.
No.
It's got to be about you
and your team if you've got a team. If you Google list of feeling words, some great lists come up, so you could start to pick and choose.
It sounds a bit like
those.
Sesame Street. What am I feeling words today?
Yeah. But you know what? They come up with some great words. And when I actually get people to do this exercise in my groups, they're ticking, 30 of them. And I go, okay, now try and narrow it down. So you really want 5 or 10 core values. And if you can communicate that with your graphic designers, your brand, all that, then that's how you're going to resonate with clients.
Yeah, because if you're not creative like me, you need to give them a proper brief that includes your values in order to get a logo which reflects who you are.
Exactly.
Because that's your business, is who you are.
Exactly.
Right.
But in the terms of what we're talking about today, which is goal setting and stepping out of your comfort zone, and we talked about how the goal allows you to step out of your comfort zone. The other thing that happens in business is we have a goal. So let's say that my goal is to get 10 clients in the next 12, increase my client base by 10 in the next 6 months. And then we have all these offers or opportunities, or I like to call them bright, shiny objects that kind of come up.
I call them squirrels.
There you go.
You're on your path, a squirrel.
Yes.
And you go off on another path because you've been distracted.
Yes.
But we're not talking little things like little distractions like Facebook.
No.
Like that.
We're talking about business opportunities that might come your way. So, for instance, a lot of people say to me, hey, we should collaborate and do a workshop, or, we should do this together. And I have to really think about it. And if I don't have my goals and my values, they're the two things that I use.
Yes. Does it match what I'm trying to achieve with my goals? And does it match my set of values?
Absolutely.
Does say, for example, when I invited you on the show, to come on the show, you go, okay, well, yeah, this matches what I'm trying to achieve for my clients. It ticks the box that I'm trying to educate small business.
Yes.
And
we have similar values.
Exactly.
So it was a no-brainer for me.
Yep.
But I looked at it exactly along those lines, like you're saying. So does it bring me closer to my goals of bringing more awareness out there in the small business community about things that they want? Yes. Did we align? Yes. Big tick. That's a great opportunity. I'm going to go with it.
And the goals put you on this path that help you decide a whole bunch of other things. So say, for example, you're working out what sort of advertising you want to do. You know your end goal, because in 12 months' time, I want to be here and I want to be doing this.
Yep.
Now, does advertising in the local, community rag paper that doesn't really match any of my clientele, is that going to achieve what I want to achieve? No. So you forget about it. Yeah, exactly.
But in terms of your values, it's very much about the people that come to you with opportunities. Because I see so many business owners who go, this is the path I'm taking. But then somebody comes up and says, like, let's say you were talking to somebody and I have a radio show and they've got nothing to do with small business, not that you would ever invite them, but then they go, oh yeah, I want to do that. And then they're off there doing a radio show that's got absolutely no relevance. Or they kind of find themselves, that's not really a great example, but more...
No, I've had people asked to come on the show who really are not going to bring any benefit to me or my listeners or the show's values, or they don't match the show's values.
Yes.
So if I get some really salesy, business coachy guy who just talks in riddles and talks big picture, where will you be in 5 years' time, but doesn't actually give us anything specific to work to, no, sorry, that's not what my show is about. It's
Exactly.
not what I'm trying to achieve.
Because you've got your goals and your values. But what I see is small business owners who suddenly have spent 5 years doing something and then they turn around and go, what am I doing? Why am I even over here when I was trying to get over there? And all of a sudden I'm here doing this thing that I didn't even really want to do in the first place, but I kind of got roped into it and I couldn't say no, and I didn't know how to say no, and here I am.
Because I didn't know what my end goal was and what my values were in the first place.
Or I didn't have the guts to say no. No is a very good word to say in small business. But yes, if you've got your goals and your values, you can say no.
Exactly. And it's important to have those values because you remain focused and on the path.
Yeah.
And then to which the end goal is there. And it also helps you to distinguish who's going to be completely useless in your business world.
Yes.
And who is going to be someone that's going to help you grow and develop either as a person or as a business, and helps you choose which of the educational seminars you should go to.
Exactly, because you're going to have the similar values with the person that you're teaching from or learning from. But also, if you're looking for team members, you might want some team members that have different values to you so that they complement you.
Yin and yang, very important. If you absolutely suck at sales, like the gentleman was that I used in our last example who had a company for 15 years, you need to bring someone who will upsell.
Yes.
Rather than someone who does exactly what you do, because you might butt heads about the creative side of things because you've got that down.
And they could have similar values but just different skills as well. So it kind of, all ties in together. And then also, if we go back to the other session that we did where we talked about just running your own race and looking after you and being you, that's your values come into that as well. Because then the clients that have got the similar values to you, they're going to resonate with you. So it really all ties in together, which is beautiful.
Indeed. Look, let me just take a big thank you for being on our show for the last few weeks, Nikki. It's been absolutely fantastic. I'm sure as we didn't want to overwhelm, but I suspect that people walking away from these programs might feel that they've got a lot to think about. Yes. And that's what these shows have been about, stepping out of our listeners' comfort zones and making them stopping and thinking about what we're talking about. So hopefully you've taken these ideas and you've implemented them, or you've put yourself in the shoes of who we're talking about, whether it's the massage therapist or someone like that.
And even if they're just thinking about changing their mindset, that's such a big plus to get away from these sessions that we've had. Am I in this old mindset, and do I need to shift into this new mindset? Indeed.
Look, so thank you so much for coming on the show, Nikki. It's been absolutely fantastic. Of course, if you've missed any of the programs, you can have a look back over what we've talked about in the last few weeks via the Small Biz Matters blogs and podcast page, and also the Boyd Office Management Services. Please check out Nikki and My Wellness Business, particularly if you're in the wellness space.
Yes.
Because you offer really great opportunities for mentoring and for networking for that space as well, and just full of information, really.
And if anybody's got questions, just dump them on the Facebook page and I'm happy to jump in and answer them.
Indeed. Look, thanks once again for coming on the show.
Thank you
I'm
for
sure
having
we'll
me.
have you on again later at a later